Hello everybody. Today we're going to do Module 2, Lesson 21. The objective is that we are going to estimate sums and differences of measurements by rounding and then solve mixed word problems. Okay, we're going to start with the application problem. Okay, first pencil. Now, Gloria fills water balloons with 238 milliliters of water. How many milliliters of water are in 2 water balloons? Estimate to the nearest 10 milliliters and 100 milliliters. Which one gives a closer estimate? Okay, so let's first draw a tape diagram. So here's our tape diagram. Find my, where's my mouse? Okay, trying to find it here. Keeps getting lost. All right, let's clear that up. Let's just clear it up. Okay, try this again. Now, tape diagram, right here. The first one, this is one water balloon. One balloon. This would be 2 balloons, and so this right here would be our total balloons. Okay, one balloon holds 238 milliliters, which means that if one balloon fills, it has 238. This one is going to have 238 too, isn't it? But we got to figure out what our total is. Okay, pause your video and first figure out exactly how much it's going to be. Okay, when you try to figure out how much it's going to be, I think you're probably going to add. What do you think? So, 238 milliliters plus 238 milliliters. Well, we can bring down our label so we don't forget to label. It's going to be 8 plus 8. My buddy isn't very clean. 8 plus 8 is 16. All right. And 6 plus 1 is 7. And okay, back we go. So we did 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now we can do 2 plus 2 is 4. So our total exact answer is going to be 476 milliliters. But that's not what they're asking for. They wanted us to estimate to the nearest 10, then the nearest 100 milliliters, and figure out which one's closer. Well, we can't figure out which one's closer if we don't know exactly how much it is. So let's now do to the nearest 10. Okay, if I round 238 plus 238 to the nearest 10, we're going to say it's approximate. I'm going to be looking at the one spot, right? Now, if it's above the halfway mark, we round up. If it's below the halfway mark, we round down. And the halfway mark between 0 and 10 is 5. It's above it, so we're going to round up. So now we have 240 plus 240. What will that give us? Well, that gives us 0. 4 plus 4 is 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then we'll put this milliliter. So it's about 480 milliliters. How are we doing with that? Is that pretty close? Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay, now let's round it to the nearest 100 milliliters. Okay, now if I do 238 plus 238, then we know it's going to be approximate because we're estimating, or about. Round it to the nearest 100, we're going to look at the nearest tens. If it's below the halfway mark, we round down. If it's above, we round up. We have below the halfway mark because between 0 and 100, the halfway mark is 50, right? So this is not a 50, this is 30. We're going to move down. We're going to round down. So this one we have 200 plus 200. And I can do that one in my head, and that is 400 milliliters. Which one's closer? Rounding to the nearest 10 or rounding to the nearest 100? Well, this one, the difference between 480 and 476 is 4. That's not very many. The difference between 476 and 400 is 76. That's a lot more. So I'm thinking that rounding to the nearest 10 is the closest. So this is what they want to know, which gives a closer estimate. Rounding, this is what you need to write. to the nearest 10 milliliters gives the closest estimate. Now, this is our answer. This is what they wanted to know, wasn't it? Right here is our answer. All of this is our explanation. All of this is us showing that this answer is true, and this is our answer that we believe is true. Okay. Now, this is our last module before our test, so we're going to be doing this now. Looks like I made it just a little bit too high, so it goes underneath my camera. Okay, so Mr. Williams owns gas stations. He sells 367 liters of gas in the morning, that says morning, and 300 liters of gas in the afternoon. I'm going to put liters over here. And 219 liters in the evening. Okay. Estimate and then find the total amount of gas he sells in one day. Okay, so we're going to estimate, let's see. I was just checking to see if it wanted us to estimate to the nearest 100 or the nearest 10. Now I'm reading, this is actually an assignment, this is on your homework, and it doesn't say. So judging from my last problem, which one was closer, rounding to the nearest 10 or rounding to the nearest 100? Rounding to the nearest 10 was closer, so let's do that. So our answer is more reasonable. It makes more sense and can help them better. Okay, so let's round 367 to the nearest 10. We look at the 10 or the 1 spot. It's above the 5 or above. It goes up, and so we can round this one up to 370. Okay, liters. 300 just stays 300 for the afternoon. And then this one, we look here, the 1 spot, round up or down. What do you think? Sorry, let's round up. Okay, so we're going to round that to the nearest 10 is 20. Now we have to round all of them to the nearest 10. You can't just round one of them or 2 of them. Whatever you do to 1, you have to do to all of them. So now I'm going to want you to pause the video. And find this answer. See what's going on here. Where's my... No. This is where we're working. My computer's trying to think on its own. It needs to not think on its own. Okay, there we go. Okay, now pause the video and give it a shot and see what you can do. Okay, here we go. Let's add them up. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 0 is 7. Plus 2 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 2 is 7, 8 liters. Okay, so he makes approximately 890 liters a day. Okay, so let's write this up here. We don't want to say he makes that. We want to say he makes about or approximately. Now you write your answer. Sells about 890 liters in one day. Okay, and there's our answer. This is not good enough. We want to say about because we estimated. This is not the exact amount, is it? This is about how much he sells in one day. Okay, now let's go on to the next problem here. It's still about Mr. Williams. Now, same numbers. But this time, let's estimate and then find the difference between the amount of gas Mr. Williams sells in the morning and the amount he sells in the evening. Okay, so here's the amount in the morning and here's the amount in the evening. Let's round to the nearest 10 because we would like it to be a reasonable answer. We don't want it crazy and strange because it might determine how much gas he needs to purchase or how much gas he needs to order. He needs a decent number, a reasonable number. Okay, so round this to the nearest 10. What was that? We're going to round up. So that's going to be 370 liters. And here is our evening amount. And we're going to round up again to 220 liters. Now, it said find the difference between the amounts of gas Mr. Williams sells in the morning and the amount he sells in the evening. What does that mean? Add, subtract? What do we do? That's right, we're going to subtract because we're not adding anything to it. We want to know what's the difference or what is in between it, how many numbers are in between on the number line. Okay, trying to find my mouse again. So we're going to subtract. Here we go. Bring down your label so you don't forget. 0, 7, take away 2 is 5. 3, take away 1 or 2 is 1. So it's about 150 liters. We cannot say it is 150 liters because that would be the same as saying it is equal. It's about. So the difference, now we write our answer. Between the, whoops, goodness gracious, amount of gas he sells in the morning and evening is about, get that word in there. Get that word in there. If you want to underline it, go ahead. 150 liters, period. Here is our answer. This is a great answer. So here's our answer, and here's our explanation. Here's our proof. Make sure you do your work and show your work. Just don't do it in your head. I mean, absolutely, if you do it in your head, that's fine, but double check it with your work and show me because I can't get in your head. All right, see you soon.